Welcome back to M.O.R.T.E.M. On today's episode, we would be talking about a revenge mission, where an innocent teenager was caught in a speeding car accident. In Sheffield, England, a feud between rival groups ended in a devastating mistake that cost 16-year-old Abdullah Younis his life. Witnesses watched in horror as violence unfolded in broad daylight. Tonight, we uncover how a search for revenge turned into a murder that shocked Britain. Welcome to M.O.R.T.E.M. On a summer evening in Sheffield, what began as a search for retaliation ended in the death of an innocent teenager. The victim, 16-year-old Abdullah Younis, had no role in the dispute that motivated the attack. Yet within moments, he would become the target of violence that prosecutors later described as deliberate and devastating. Investigators said the sequence of events began with a confrontation involving members of a local community. Tensions escalated, and two brothers, Zulkarnain Ahmed and Arman Ahmed, set out looking for those they believed had been involved in the earlier incident. According to evidence presented in court, they were not simply driving through the area. They were searching for revenge. As the brothers drove through the streets, they encountered a group of young people. Witnesses later told police that the vehicle accelerated toward the group, rather than attempting to avoid them. The car struck Abdullah with tremendous force. The impact was catastrophic. Emergency services were called immediately, but despite efforts to save him, Abdullah died from his injuries. The scene left residents stunned. A teenager who had been out with friends was suddenly gone, and the community struggled to understand how a personal feud had resulted in such a loss. Detectives quickly focused on the vehicle involved in the collision. CCTV footage, witness accounts, and forensic evidence helped reconstruct the moments leading up to the attack. Prosecutors argued that the car had been used as a weapon and that the driver had intentionally targeted the group. The investigation revealed a painful irony. Abdullah was not the person the attackers had been seeking. He became the victim of a revenge attack aimed elsewhere. That fact would become central to the prosecution's case, emphasizing the indiscriminate and reckless nature of the violence. During the trial, jurors heard evidence about the brothers' actions before and after the collision. The prosecution argued that the attack was not an accident or a momentary loss of control, but a deliberate act carried out in pursuit of retaliation. Defense lawyers challenged aspects of that interpretation, but the jury ultimately accepted the prosecution's account of the events. The court convicted Zulkarnain Ahmed of murder. The judge later imposed a life sentence with a minimum term of 30 years. Arman Ahmed was convicted of manslaughter and received a 17-year prison sentence. In sentencing remarks, the judge described the use of a vehicle as a weapon against a group of young people as an exceptionally serious offense with devastating consequences. For Abdullah's family, the verdicts brought accountability but could not erase the loss. They spoke of a teenager with his future ahead of him, whose life ended because of a conflict that was never his own. Community leaders also reflected on the broader impact of the case, warning about the dangers of retaliation and the ease with which violence can spiral beyond its original target. The Sheffield case became a stark reminder that acts of revenge rarely remain contained. A single decision to use a car as a weapon transformed a personal grievance into a homicide, leaving one family grieving and two brothers facing decades in prison. In the end, the case was not only about punishment. It was also about the irreversible cost of violence when anger overtakes judgment. M.O.R.T.E.M. breakdown. Motive: retaliation for an earlier confrontation. The attack was driven by revenge rather than a spontaneous dispute. Operations: the brothers used a vehicle to pursue and strike a group of young people, turning an ordinary car into a deadly weapon. Reach: the violence occurred in a public area, endangering multiple people and affecting the wider Sheffield community. Terror impact: the attack created fear because it happened in broad view of the public and involved a weapon that could have harmed anyone in its path. Execution style: a direct and forceful assault carried out with a vehicle, resulting in fatal injuries within moments of impact. Mindset. The case reflected a retaliatory mindset where anger and vengeance escalated into lethal violence without regard for the victim's actual involvement. Abdullah Younis was 16 years old. His death was not the result of a random accident, but of a revenge attack that targeted the wrong person. Cases like this remind us that violence often spreads far beyond its intended target, leaving irreversible consequences for families and communities alike. Remember to stay safe and stay aware.